How's it going, friends and family of the internet? Welcome to the Real AF TV podcast, the show about fishing and random takes from the land of 10,000 lakes. I'm one of your hosts, Josh LaBaw.
I am Tim Wagner.
Tim, I need a fucking, well, we were talking about AI before this. We were talking about AI as we were starting up. Uh-huh. I need an AI to write a podcast episode, so I'm probably going to sign up for ChatGTP. And get it to just write a random topic for us and see what happens.
Dude, I like that idea a lot. Let's see what they do. I'll do it.
The reason why I said that is because I don't know how long this episode is going to be. If we get into our normal 2 hours, I will be blown away because I didn't do a ton of research on this episode. We'll get into it because we're talking to match the hatch, and then we're just going to catch up on what you're watching or playing because Zelda's ruling our life. So I wanted to try to turn the tide over to like other watching things, and we'll just see how that goes and watch us spiral off into Zelda talk anyway. That's what I'm thinking.
I like it. It will.
But
I think so. I'm freaking addicted, dude. Addicted.
Like if you can turn your Switch on for 10 minutes, it's on.
Dude, we talked about that too, like not to get into the weeds right away, but we talked about that where like the Switch is just set up to let you play any little sliver of time you have.
Right.
Because you can literally just hit the power button and it just stops it wherever it's at. You can be in the middle of a boss fight. There's no having to hit the pause. You just hit that button.
Yep.
Just try to be wary of where you're at, because when you turn it back on, that guy's still there swinging.
Getting swung on.
Right. Just like, oh shit, I forgot where I was. And just like dead immediately.
Right.
But yeah, it's pretty dope. Like trying to give the boy, my son, a bath. You know, like just different stuff. Like, all right, washing the hair or whatever. Getting that. He's gonna play in the tub. All right, I'm gonna dry my hands and I'm gonna flip these sticks, bro. Don't drown, kid.
don't drown. I'm focusing on Link right now. Okay.
Yeah. In case anybody doesn't know, like it's legit 100% handheld. You have it anywhere. I'm not a bad dad. I sit on the toilet. He's right there. He's
right. Yeah.
And I'm
I get what you're explaining.
I'm observant. Yeah, I'd just be like, don't drown. I didn't walk out to go play in the other room. I'm right
to go play in the other room, and I gotcha. Okay.
After I said it, I was like, oh shit, I don't want to. Somebody's gonna.
I don't want someone to misinterpret this in the first 3 minutes of the podcast, and then just be like, I'm turning this shit off. What the fuck is with these dads?
Yeah. Next Monday, I get like a wellness check. Somebody watched the podcast or something, and they said that you're like neglecting your child
while they're in the tub. I
don't know.
I'm here. What's going on? Okay, so let's do. Oh no, you know what it is? I'll save it for housekeeping. Fuck it, we'll get into the news, and I'm gonna save it for housekeeping. Why I started with the AI and the why I wanted to write a topic. I'm fucking tired, and we'll get into it during housekeeping when we transition into the fishing topic. For now, let's do what we do and kick it off with the fishing news.
Dude, that scares me every time. Okay. No joke. I thought like, oh shit, did I forget to turn off my phone or whatever? That I jumped.
Still get used to the new production tools.
I literally jumped. Like, what was that?
Oh fuck yeah, dude! That's awesome. Man. If you're listening to this podcast, remember we're on YouTube. You can go check out Tim jumping to the sound of the new production tools. Okay. This is my clickbait headline. 55-pound bass caught in New York. Yeah, I mean it's a straight bass.
Yeah,
I
figured.
Yeah, don't let that clickbait get you. It's a striped bass, but that is still very impressive.
Yeah, the world record bass I think is 22 pounds. So when you say 55, I don't even hesitate. I'm just like, yeah, that's a striper. That'd be insane, wouldn't it be? Wouldn't it be? New world record set. Oh, how much did they break it by? 33 pounds.
Oh, that's all?
Damn, dude, this is crazy.
Full of lead weights.
Cut that one open. Those damn cheaters.
That's also why, of course, I had to throw back to that. But this is, this is just a good, fun one that I found over on Outdoor News. Zach Schubert from yes, Earlton, New York, caught a 55-pound, 50.75-inch striped bass out of the Hudson over there. Now,
Okay.
average size 10 to 20 pounds and under 40 inches. So,
Okay.
yeah, average
Man,
size for a
that's
stripe
average,
is
huh?
still only 10 to 20 pounds. Yep.
I always
And
thought they were
under
a lot
40
bigger.
inches.
I suppose it's like how you get bass that are 10 pounders. And,
Okay.
that's nowhere near the world record.
Like a
But it's a
largemouth?
really good fish, So when you say average, I wonder what the average largemouth is. Like most lakes, it's like maybe 2.5 pounds, 3 pounds. But you have
Mm-hmm.
like 5 to 6 pounders around here in Minnesota
Mm-hmm.
with the rare 7 and possibly getting close to that 8-pound range, but you're still a half pound away from breaking the record.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I suppose it's probably even better to like calculate it in like muskie weights, because you're looking
What
at
do you
that
mean?
same thing. Like average muskie, you're on average you're probably looking at maybe like a 40-inch fish. I don't know, that's probably not accurate anyways, but like,
Yeah.
because the muskies are more few and far between. I'm saying like just on average, there's a lot of fish out there, but you have that chance at catching the bigger ones. Because the stripers, whenever people say stripers, I always envision a fish that's way bigger than 10 pounds,
Sure.
that
Okay.
because those fish get big. But that's probably what it is that you're only seeing these viral clips, basically,
Ah,
even
yeah.
before they were viral clips.
Right.
You're
Yeah,
seeing
because
people
that would
catch
be
the
the one
big
that
ones.
makes the magazine cover, or that's the one
Right.
that makes the, insert any older media even
Yeah, exactly. You
before
don't.
viral clip.
Yes, exactly. You're not seeing the people holding up the average fish,
Yeah. They're
and this
throwing them
is a
in the cooler and
stringer.
they're fucking fishing again.
Exactly. Yep. Yeah.
I mean,
So I don't know if you keep stripers.
yeah,
Maybe
some
you
people
do.
keep. Yeah.
Do you eat stripers?
Yeah.
Cause yeah, I don't know. I want to catch them. I
I
know
know it
that.
looks fun, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. It looks
They're
super fun.
any fish. I want to catch any fish. There's so
I want to
many.
catch any fish.
Any fish. We have a older podcast about that where it's like dream fish.
Yeah. Yeah.
And maybe we
Goes
should
back
do
a lot.
that as a topic again. Because I could go off on a whole
Yeah.
new set.
Just as you learn more, as you get into more, we're going to get into the striped bass. But I mean, we're sticking with
Yeah.
the striped bass topic, actually, really, because
Yeah, for sure.
like to say that, yeah, I guess I never thought about it, but the more that I'm learning about and seeing stripers, I do kind of put it on my dream fish list. I just,
Oh yeah.
for the purpose of they look like super fun fishing,
Yeah.
but also, I mean, that's a good size eater, 10, 20 pounds. You like pull the fillet off, that's going to
Right.
feed some people. It'd be
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah. And I don't even know what a Chilean sea bass is. But
Oh,
that is
I've heard of
like,
it.
yeah, because I hear about it like in restaurants because you can eat it,
Yeah.
I hear it's one where people like seek that fish out and it's like,
Yeah.
I don't even know what it looks like. Is that a striped bass? Is that
Yeah. I
just
don't
like,
know.
do people just call them stripers and they're technically Chilean sea bass? I don't know. I
Right.
don't
Because
know.
there are situations like that for sure. Well,
Mm-hmm.
we talked about like the salmon versus steelhead and stuff like that, and how we've talked about
Sure.
different grocery stores mislabeling and all that shit.
Oh yeah.
Like
Yep.
maybe it could be one of those situations. But let's get back to Zach and his
Good.
55-pounder here, because
Let's do it.
I was blown away because I clicked on this in an effort to, or I should say, I picked this topic because I was like, okay, 55-pound, like this is a fish that I do consider to get pretty big. And so I thought, well, must be a big deal. And yeah, it turns out it's 5 pounds and 3 inches short of a New York State record. So, I mean,
Yeah.
5 pounds, right? Yeah, that's a big difference. But when you're starting to talk about, so then I looked up the average, right? And then
Yeah.
when you see 10 to 20 pounds and under 40 inches, and this is 55 and 50, you're like, oh shit, okay. Now, I know
Yeah.
5 pounds is no small feat, but when you're looking at a fish that's usually 10 to 20 pounds and now it's 55, 5 pounds
Yeah.
short's pretty fucking close to a state
Right.
record.
Yeah. And 5 pounds is not much different in the length, you know?
Okay.
When you're talking about a fish
Mhm.
that big,
Yeah.
that might be a half-inch difference, you know?
Mm.
So that
Okay.
fish is just as big almost,
I
I
gotcha.
would think. I don't know for sure. But when you're getting that big, I think they almost start growing out, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Stop getting as long, like they're as big as they're gonna get, and now they're
Right.
just getting wider.
Now they just start getting wide. Yeah. And
Yeah.
if you go over to YouTube, youtube.com/@realaftv, you can see the link to this on the outdoor news site. You'll get the link in the description. The reason why I say that is because, yeah, dude, the gut on this thing, this was a huge, huge fish. Like, it didn't look like a striper. Stripes are sleek and
Yeah.
hydrodynamic to me. And I saw this
Yep.
fish and I was like, this is a lumberer, man.
Just a tank.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude,
It's pretty nuts.
there are some tanks out there that they've been eaten well.
Right.
The
Yeah.
some of those record fish are just like goofy looking, you know?
Yes. Yes, they are. You sent me some, I think we talked about maybe a record walleye that I didn't even recognize. I believe that was a Pennsylvania
Yeah,
record
some of
that
those
we talked about, and I
heavy
was like, I didn't even know it was a fucking walleye when I clicked on the
yeah, some of those
story.
heavy fish have like just such big stomachs. It's crazy looking.
Yeah,
And
it's weird.
yeah. And some of the bass like eat themselves to where their eyes are like bulging out of their heads.
Like a fucking
So they
goldfish at the pet store.
yeah. Yeah. So they're literally like those weird goldfish. They have the big eyes and the pot belly and they're just oh man. I've never I've never got any of those like that. But yeah, dude, when they get to that size, it's something about some of those fish where it's it's honestly a miracle that they exist because it's clear that they're eating constantly more than
Right,
any
right,
other fish in that lake
right. Uh-huh.
and nobody's caught them. It's like, how did that happen? How are they eating in excess but
Right.
never someone's lure?
But never a lure. Yeah,
It's
yeah, yeah.
just
Seems
weird.
so crazy.
Yeah,
I never thought about it in that way. That's a very
yeah.
weird way to look at it,
I
but in the best way.
Yeah, it's very mind-boggling to me.
Yeah.
And I think it all points to just fishing outside the box, man.
Yeah.
Those fish are probably huge because they found some sort of an easy food source that nobody else is eating and
Mm,
nobody else is fishing like that.
right.
So,
That's interesting because that kind of goes into the match the hatch topic, but I'm not going to transition yet because in a
okay.
way that was a great setup, Tim, but I'm not ready, and here's why. Because this was he just went and anchored up in the Hudson near Catskill, New York. He was
Yeah.
after work, so we got a picture. It's probably in the either early morning if he's in an overnight shift, or it was in the later evening hours if he's just working, let's say 9 to 5. And so taking daytime into consideration, right? And what could be going on and everything like that. And he just said he anchored up and had a live herring on in about 20 feet of water. So he was just live fishing. I mean, he was just
Yeah.
using a shiny fish in
Sure.
20 feet of water.
Yeah.
That seems so normal.
Yeah.
It's
Mhm.
like, why this giant fish on what seemed like such a normal day?
Dude, there's so many of those questions, man. It's
Yeah.
just
Okay. Uh-huh.
it's always why. I'm trying to make, you know,
Yeah. No, I get you.
I
I
think
get you.
I
It's
think
just really funny
I
to
think it's
hear
just
it.
that yeah, it's just that one fish for whatever reason that day.
Mm-hmm.
It felt like eating what he had down there for him.
Right.
It's just a weird situation,
Yeah.
you
Just
know.
like a perfect storm almost.
It all goes back to that like my favorite saying of like fishing is all about luck, but the more knowledge you have, the luckier you'll be. That
Right.
guy was in the right spot where the fish were. I'm sure that wasn't the only fish there.
Right.
And I think most of the time, everybody else is catching the fish around him. And maybe that fish is eating the bait that's nowhere near the size of what anybody else is actually trying to catch a fish with.
Mm.
And for whatever reason, it was like grabbing a big one, grabbing another big one. His little herring happened to be in the right spot and it just grabbed another little snack. Well, easy
Mm-hmm.
meal. Here, and then
Right.
boom, he goes and gets that monster.
It's
Who
weird, isn't it?
knows? Yeah.
So weird to think about. Um, so he said it took him 30 minutes because this is where I want to get into weight a little bit and hear your thoughts. So he said it took him 30 minutes to land this thing and it just kept ripping line.
Yeah.
He's fished them for he's fished stripers for a while, and he's like, usually the bigger ones they'll just head to the bottom, they'll just
Sure.
they'll just try to flat you down. And he's like, nope, not this one. This one ran. This one like chose to run. And then this was my quote. I quoted this right out of outdoor news. He's a conscientious fisherman. And I was like, oh, that's a fun way to put that. I'm going to put that quote down because he got it in. He knew it was a female that hadn't spawned yet.
Okay.
So she was full of eggs.
Hell yeah, she was. That fish that big, there's so many eggs. Even if she wasn't like, full, there's still a lot of eggs in that fish.
Right.
Damn. Yeah.
So do you think there's anything to that? I mean, besides weight, obviously, there's anything to that when it comes to the way it ran or why it ate the herring on that day? Like, why would a big fish eat such what seems like casual food? I mean, is there anything to the spawn? Because I just go to humans right away and I just go, yeah, I don't know. Human women eat weird when they have babies inside them.
Yeah. It like never even eats herring. And it just had a craving that day. It's just always eating like other bigger fish than herring. And then for whatever reason, it's just like, I need herring. I need one.
Don't know why. I just do.
I don't. This one's just conveniently sitting here, not moving. I mean, it's moving a little bit. So I know it's still like alive and fresh, but it's just there. It's like it's a sign, Like I just wanted a herring, and then the fish gods, I don't know what the hell they don't think. This is too far in the weeds. They're stupid. I don't know.
All of a sudden, this fish now has some a bigger perspective of the universe and being larger than itself.
Yeah. It feels bad every time it eats another fish. I'm sorry, fish. Yeah,
sorry, fish god. I'm just so hungry. Please forgive me for my sins.
Oh man, I don't know. There's a possibility that it sometimes during the spawn they don't want to eat much. And maybe like it just was a convenient thing.
Right.
Where it's just like going from point A to point B, just being like, oh my God, I'm so bloated. I got all these eggs. I got to find a suitor. There's a couple of different beds over here. I think I'm just going to go drop a couple of eggs off. Oh, herring. Nice. It just has a snack on its way from point A to point
B.
B.
Right. Well, it's kind of just tooling around.
Yeah. But there's a possibility too with sometimes too, you think about the temperament. Maybe it's not the only time that they've ever ate a lure, but maybe it's the only time somebody was like geared up to actually land that fish.
Sure.
If this one, it's like normally they try to go to the bottom, but this one just ran like a motherfucker. It's just like anybody else that wasn't set up for that or didn't have the right hook. A fish that big could snap your hook in half pretty easy, especially if you have your drag set a little bit too tight and you're
okay.
It's just going zzz, the constant pressure and then just tink or just bends it straight. Sometimes it doesn't break it all the way. Sometimes just the constant pressure on the hook will just straighten it out enough that it just comes off.
It just falls off the fish lip, like just boop.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like once it's a straight, then you're dealing with like the harpoon that they like stick the whales with, which I've
That's a
never
good way to put
understood
it.
how they think
Harpoon.
that works. They just like they have the cord, and it's just like, do you know that whale weighs, in those movies about like Moby Dick or whatever, and they just harpoon it and they have like a rope and they're trying to hold it. That whale is like 7 fucking
Tons.
school buses.
Yeah.
And you
More
think
than
you're just
7
gonna
tons.
stick a spear in it and hold onto a rope? That's either gonna break that rope or it's just gonna pull that spear out like it's nothing. You stabbed it
Right.
with a barbed toothpick. It's not even gonna hesitate to rip it out. It's
Right.
just, anyways.
It's fucking crazy. I know.
Yeah. So I think maybe there is something like that, where now that you say it, and you're just like, this one just acted different. Of course it did. It's a different fish. This isn't your typical fish. There's something
Right.
different about
Yeah,
this
good
one.
point. This isn't your typical fish. Well put.
Yeah.
Yeah. For
So
sure.
yeah. But the
Yeah.
spawn, I don't know. Maybe that's another thing where it ran. Where it knows.
Oh.
I gotta lay these babies. You ain't taking me.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. There's a
It's
lot
fun to
of
speculate,
questions.
though.
It is fun to
Just
speculate.
curious because to know that this was just a big fish full of eggs,
Yeah.
basically swimming around, like you said, swimming around,
Yeah.
dropping eggs or looking for a proper place to drop eggs. And it's like,
Right.
yeah, obviously it was on something, it was on a different level, but like
Yeah.
the way you just said it, it's just a different fish in general.
And it's fun to hear stuff like that too. Like, it's a different fish and it acted differently.
Right.
It was like, okay. Maybe there's something there.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. For sure. All right. Good point. Good topic. I'm going to go into housekeeping really quick here. So the reason why I started off with like an AI and saying like, I don't know how long this episode's going is I'm fucking super tired. We're going through another sleep phase. We're doing a bunch of stuff around the house.
Yeah.
And I'm so fucking tired. And I just did everything I could to build an episode. So hang in there with us, guys. This is going to turn out. Trust me. But I'm just letting you know, don't expect a ton of research on the Match the Hatch side. Maybe more like what we just kind of did is like speculating. And stuff like that.
I'll chime in too with exactly. It's not a lot of research. It's just here's what happened and here's why it's important. And now you do the research, because I tried to do some research for you. I really did, because I was trying to do research for myself.
Right.
And it's a little bit of murky areas, and we'll get into that a little bit. So
right. Yeah. No, that's perfect. So one thing I wanted to address is I definitely have more than once said it's a Freudian slip, is I said a bi-weekly podcast. That is wrong.
Oh yeah, that'd be
We're
twice
a bi-monthly podcast. We drop every other week. And I know almost always I say every other Monday, that's correct. Every other Monday, the Real AF TV podcast drops into your feed on YouTube, wherever it is. We then on our off week do drop bi-weekly because we split the topic. We put the fishing topic out on Wednesday and we put the random take out on Friday. That would be a bi-weekly release.
Yeah.
We're a bi-monthly full episode podcast every other month. It could land 3 times, so I don't like to use that. I just like to say every other Monday, the Real AF TV podcast is released, and in our off week, we take the topics, we split them in half. You don't get the fishing news. You don't get all the banter in the front. If you want to focus on just the fishing topic or just the random take, that's on YouTube. Go to youtube.com/@realaftv. What are you thinking about, Tim?
Well, I was just, because you said that, and I was like, well, what else do I know that term from? And I was like, don't they technically say, like, when you get your check, like your paycheck, twice a month, don't they call that bi-weekly?
Oh.
I was like, maybe you're not wrong. Maybe it can be used interchangeably.
Oh.
Maybe it can be every other week or twice a week.
Whoa. please leave a comment because I'm super curious now. I don't know. Because yes, you're right about the check. Like you get paid bi-weekly. Okay, cool. Who the fuck would pay somebody bi-weekly? That doesn't make any sense. Like twice a week.
Yeah, I don't
That
know.
doesn't make any sense. That's so fucking weird. So yeah, you're right. Please, if you know, leave it in the comments over on YouTube because that just fucking whoa. Or go over to realaf.tv, go to the contact page. It's realaf.tv/contact. Actually, there's a contact form there. It'll email us. Put it in there. We'll bring it up on the next episode because now I'm confused as fuck. But I was so confident going into this. I'm like, nah, I've said bi-weekly and that's wrong. We're in every other week, and then we come out twice a week on Wednesday and Friday on the off week. Like,
huh. Well, when you said it, I was like, oh yeah, you're right. And then I reflected and I go, but I've heard bi-weekly before. And then I go, that's what they say when I get my check every 2 weeks, right?
Right.
And I was like, now I don't know what's going on.
Now I've confused myself into confusion zone.
Oh my gosh. I'm stuck in the abyss now.
We do have a Patreon. Also, I want to bring that up. Go over to realaf.tv and we have everything on there. You know, you can find us on Pandora and Amazon and iHeart and all that stuff. But you can find the Patreon link too. I think Patreon's rolling out like a 7-day free trial thing. So like you could do a trial and just get in and check out the contacts only and stuff like that, because you can just put stuff behind Patreon, you know, only contact through Patreon and all that fun stuff. So if anybody's interested in that, hit us up, let us know, because I think I can activate that now. Let's just we'll jump into it. Just that's it. I'm done with housekeeping because I'm fucking tired and I've been doing housekeeping all week. Literal housekeeping all week, as well as going through a sleep phase. It makes a man tired. So I just want to talk to Tim about some fishing. Let's get into fishing topic.
Yeah. Skabloosh.
Now, before we start Match the Hatch here, do you want to go and kind of give your experience, or do you want me to kick it off on a little bit of a note of like, hey man, this is what I saw, and I know you're not that kind of fisherman. What do you think?
Oh, you start. I want to hear what you have to say.
So I did a little bit of research, and pretty much you Google it, you know, whatever search engine. I usually use a mix of search engines because I know how the search engines work. So sure. I'll just put that on there on wax real quick. So both 2-3 places that I went searching around, you put in Match the Hatch, and top 10, top 5 for sure, are top 3 for sure, maybe in your top 5. Anyways, what I'm trying to get to here is fly fishermen. Fly fishermen really seem to, yeah.
I think if our feeds timed up well, I think I mouthed fly fishing as you said fly fishing.
I think so. Dude, I know. That's why I kind of like just faded out of that sentence instead, because I was like, yeah, look at him going. He knew where I was going with that. Fly fishing. Yeah. Like it totally seems like it came from fly fishing, but I hear it about all kinds of fishing. In fact, I read a Bassmaster article that I'll bring up.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. What's up with this?
So here's the deal. What I ended up encountering this last weekend. Mm-hmm. No, not this last weekend. The weekend before that. Last weekend, I didn't get a chance to go fishing.
Oh, okay.
I had my niece's birthday party, which was shit. They decided to have a kids versus parents kickball game, which was a terrible idea for them because we're adults, so they lost. The only reason that we switch innings is because we gave them a mercy rule, and every time we get 5 runs, then we just let them go up and play some more. And it'd be like 3 outs, you're in the outfield, 5 runs, we'll switch back out there again. They started catching up at the end when they started scoring it to their 2 points to every one of ours. Mm-hmm. And it just didn't go well for them at all. And they tried to talk shit. And then that was not a good idea either, because I talk shit. So you shouldn't have done that, because I'm definitely better at both.
You better believe Uncle Tim has been training on the shit talking.
It was some kids that I've never even like not never seen, but I don't know them, and they start talking shit and stuff, and they go up first and they kick the ball, and it's going every which way into the trees, and it's foul every single time. And there was some wind, and then we go up and we're kicking it, and then when we're switching, I go, "Hey guys, I just wanted to let you know that when you were up here that first time and you were kicking it and the ball was kind of going sideways, I was like, man, maybe the wind's a problem." And then we kicked it straight every time. I'm not just wanted to point that out. I don't know what's going on. Just
Yeah, dude.
it's like just like killing him with kindness, just being weird, just be like, I don't know what's, they whole like the grandma's boy, new high score. What
Right.
does that mean? Did I
What
break
does
it?
that mean? Did I break it? That's one of my favorite lines.
Oh man, I love it so much. I've used it so many times
Me too.
because not unfortunately, I almost said unfortunately. Fortunately, I have been able to set new high scores on multiple different things and get to use that line. It makes you feel so good.
It does.
Because you have to accomplish that goal in order to be able to say that line. And then you do it, and then you get to say it. And it just makes my day.
It's
I'm
great.
sure everybody else around is like, look at this cocky asshole. I don't give a shit. I set the new high score.
Right.
What are you gonna say? I did it.
What does that mean?
What
Does
does
it
it
mean I broke
mean?
it?
Did I break that shit? Oh damn.
And if you're
Anyways,
new to the podcast, side rants happen.
side rants do happen.
It's part of what we do.
Yeah. Match the hatch with the new high score. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't even know how we got to that point. Oh, because I didn't get out
So you
fishing.
said you
That's
didn't.
what it
Yeah,
was.
you weren't able to go fishing because you were
So
at the birthday party. So
right.
last time you went fishing.
So 2 weeks ago, here's what happened, and here's why I say match the hatch and do what you can to just be prepared. Try to figure these things out. Maybe you'll learn, maybe you won't. I wasn't even able to figure it out. Some people might tell you that they can, or this is what they have to do, and like this is what you should be able to do. Sometimes you're not going to figure
Right.
these things out, and that's what happened that weekend, where I was fairly certain that I knew what was going on, but I didn't know enough to solve the problem. I just knew what the problem was, and I knew what the solution was,
Right.
but I didn't know how to achieve said solution.
Yeah.
So
It's like
what was
9 plus A equals 12. And you're like, fuck, what's A?
right?
I mean,
It's
that's an
like
easy
playing.
equation, but you get
It's
what I
like
mean. Like you're
yeah.
trying to figure out the variable in there. Like A equals what?
Here,
A equals what?
hey, let's go back to Zelda even.
Yeah.
In this new Zelda, there's Sky Islands, right?
Yeah.
You know that you need to get to that Sky Island to accomplish your goal.
Right.
How the fuck do you get to the Sky Island? You know that's the answer. But how do you get to that answer?
Right.
That's
Yeah,
what
dude.
it's like, where it's
That's
like
perfect.
yeah. So what was happening was the dragonflies. So if you're not familiar, dragonfly nymphs, I may have called them cicadas on here before because I used to, until I learned that that's not what they're called. And anybody that's in Wisconsin that might be listening, I believe it's pronounced Helgramites, are like what people think are dragonfly larvae, but they're not.
Oh.
They are a larva of like a fly that's more like a mayfly style.
Oh.
So
Okay.
people will call them dragonfly larvae, and they're actually sold in bait shops in Wisconsin, maybe in Minnesota too, but none of the lakeside fish. I've never seen them sold.
Okay.
So the Helgramites are a bait that people use because it's literally the bug before it hatches. So if you're not familiar, a dragonfly nymph, a mayfly, all these other bugs start as a bug that lives in the water, and then they crawl out and they hatch.
Okay.
And it's creepy as shit. Honestly, they the like dragonfly
the
nymphs,
birthing of a bug out of a breaking the surface of the water. Yeah.
dude, they're like 50-cent pieces.
Jesus.
well, here's the thing. They're like 50-cent pieces, and the bugs crawl out of the water onto like concrete, like the cylinder blocks, or like wood, like the docks, or the wooden
Mm.
like posts. My parents have this where it's like an old school like dock post from the ocean, and it's just like a couple of chunks and like some stuff on there. It's like decorative. That
Oh,
thing
okay.
was covered with them. So the bug
Oh,
crawls out and stops on the thing. Like, I don't know if it has some like little hooks that it just hooks into the thing,
okay.
and then it hatches. The back like splits like a spider does, where it sheds its exoskeleton,
Oh, yeah.
but the dragonfly's underneath with like its tail and wings and shit. So it
Uh-huh.
just like splits, and then it comes out as its full fledged dragonfly. It's got the thin little
Holy
wings
shit.
that take a while to get like fully extended, but then it becomes its dragonfly and just leaves those
Whoa.
shells everywhere.
Holy
Yeah.
shit.
So here's
Because
the
those
thing.
those shells are then just stuck in, like, in this case, in the decorative piece of wood.
Yes, they're
It's just
everywhere.
hollow. It's just a hollow shell stuck.
There's just
Holy
gross
fuck,
ass
dude.
bug shells everywhere, and they're
Ew.
big and they look gross. They are creepy looking too. Those ones, they're big, dude. They're big bugs, because these are the big dragonflies, the big ass
Oh,
dragonflies.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You're not talking about those little tiny blue
No,
ones with like the blue and like darker blue striped tail that
right?
will fly around fucking each other all the time.
Yeah. No, I'm talking about the big ones that fly around fucking each other all the time. Because the big ones do it too.
They do, yeah.
But so these dragonflies come out of the water. Where they start, I don't know.
Okay.
And
Other than in the water,
exactly.
like
And
you
then
know that.
yep, and then where they finish. Like, do they go up to the surface and then swim on the surface until they get there? Are they crawling around along the ground and then kind of coming up to the surface when they get close? These are all answers that I don't know, because I never researched it, because I've never been fishing on that day. But what I can tell you is that we went out fishing where we had just caught fish the week before, and we couldn't catch shit, dude.
Oh, really?
We couldn't get bites on. No, not. I ended up figuring out some of the perch the next day, and I was fishing it slower with like stuff that was a little bit closer colored. I was actually like searching for baits that slightly mimicked the dragonfly nymph, like where I'm looking for stuff that's the same color, looking for like little
Mhm.
finessey drop shot stuff where I'm like, all right, this looks kind of like the bug. And I started catching perch when I switched to that. So I was like, I don't
Okay.
know if I just changed or the drop shot was the key, or because I am slightly closer to mimicking these fish is why I'm getting some of the fish. Like I had
Mimicking the
uh,
bug.
yes, mimicking the bug. Yep.
Yeah, or the larva, I guess, right?
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's a bug. Call it a bug. Fucking
Let's
it's a
just call
bug.
it a bug.
Yeah, it's a bug that hatches into another bug. It uh so transformers. Um so I had some um the Ned rig. Ned rig is,
Mhm.
I have it here again
Oh,
always.
nice.
It's just been sitting here. Ned rig
Yep.
is like this, flat. It's not, well, it doesn't matter. I'll try to hold it like that. Look at that. I'll move over. White in the background. You see it.
There it is.
It's
Yep.
just that head, the hook. The Ned rig baits are like
That's the flat head
smaller.
on the bottom and the hook goes up in the air, basically.
Yep, yep. And the
Yeah.
and the baits are smaller. And
Yeah.
so some of the baits that I have are like smaller, like crayfish mimics. And I was like,
Mm.
the color and everything, like it's a crayfish.
Mhm.
But a crayfish is just a water bug, you know?
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Right.
They're a crab is a freaking water spider. Crayfish is whatever the
Right.
hell a water bug is,
Yep. Uh-huh.
So I was just like, well, we'll try that. And I was using some crayfish, and I actually ended up catching some perch because it's a relatively small bait on that Ned rig setup.
Mm. Mhm.
So I was catching some decent perch and stuff the day two when I went out and tried to figure things out by myself and stuff.
Mhm.
But we didn't catch a bass. We didn't catch a walleye. We didn't catch any, like nothing where we
Just
were
dead,
trying to
huh?
fish. And I'm fairly certain that everything was up shallow eating these bugs because I think they were
Mm.
hatching and there was another like black bug that was hatching.
Oh,
So I think
and you're
even the
not sure which
panfish.
bug that one was?
No, I didn't look into that one too much because I was like, I don't know. But
Right,
see,
because you
that's
know
where it's,
about the dragonfly, so I get you.
yeah, yep.
Yeah.
So that's where it's like even matching the hatch. Like maybe you're not fishing the exact same bug or whatever, but you need to be literally, these bugs were basically hatching. Like they're
Yeah.
going up to
Mhm.
turn into this other thing, and it's easy pickings. And I think everything in the lake was feeding on them
Right.
because it was, the numbers were astounding. And I'm like, if this is how many are making it to shore to turn into dragonflies,
Mhm.
imagine how many are getting ate out
Right,
there
how many are just
trying to come to the
underwater just
surface.
getting munched up?
And it's like
Yeah.
none of these are even interested. And I almost wanted to catch a fish just to like cut it open and look in its stomach. But I did have like a half-eaten, weird-looking one in the minnow trap
What?
because I will trap minnows sometimes.
Oh, okay.
And I don't know if something else tried to eat one in there and like accidentally spit it up or whatever. Because every
Huh.
once in a while I'll get sunfish in the minnow trap, like little ones.
Sure.
And it's like, well, he wasn't big enough, but clearly one came into the area and they ripped off its
Mhm.
head and a couple of legs.
Right.
So even if the smallest fish are picking at these, you got to assume that the bigger ones are
Right.
downing them like crazy because it's just an
R
easy meal.
Yeah. And
So
so oh, can I interrupt quick and go
yeah,
back to
dude.
the fly
Yeah,
fishing thing? Because I'm
that's
just too
that's where I
curious.
was
It's
actually
just
gonna go. So go
oh,
for it.
perfect, because it's ruminating in my head now. It's just like it's just like knocking around in there where I'm like, you you just mouthed like fly fishing. And is it because it's a bug? Like, is fly
Yeah,
fishing actually trying to mimic bugs?
hell yeah, dude. That's
Okay.
that's where matching the hatch like originates from because
Okay. Yeah.
you tie the fly to mimic whatever bug you're dealing with. They're literally
Mm.
using, like, I'm using this bug, I'm using that bug. Like there's
Mhm.
dragonfly nymphs and there's those helgrammites and mayflies and there's so many different kind of insects and they all look like kind of the same. But it's
Okay.
whatever that bug is coming up. And I think
Mhm.
sometimes you can get them to bite on whatever, but if you're literally throwing out what they're trying to eat, your
Mhm.
odds of catching something are better because that's what they're focused on. When you
Right.
throw them something at the wrong time of year,
Mhm.
sometimes it throws them off. It's just like, because I'm not real well versed in bugs, but I know with fish, like when you're fishing in the springtime and you're using a bait that has a real wide wobble, the fish aren't swimming like that yet. So it's weird. Or if you're using
Oh.
a high vibration bait in the middle of summer, the fish aren't swimming that tight of a wiggle most of the time. So sometimes,
Okay.
like, you'll still be able to catch fish here and there on them, but it's just
Sure.
not the exact thing that they're going for. And with the hatch too, those minnows and like some of the fish will like grow as the year goes on. So sometimes in the springtime, a smaller bait works better. And then when
Mhm.
you get a little bit later in the year, switching to the bigger bait works better. And I
Yeah.
don't know if it's the bait actually grows or if there's a certain point where they just start preferring bigger baits. I don't know the answer to that, but sometimes the smaller baits work a lot better in the springtime and the bigger bait works better in the fall. So it's like that. Like, if you're throwing one
Yeah.
of those dragonfly nymphs come fall time, all those,
Right.
fly fishing, you're trying to catch a trout and that trout is just like, nah, mm-mm. They already hatched.
Right.
I'm not.
This doesn't
Don't eat
seem
that
right.
shit, Larry. You seen this shit? They, all the dragonflies hatch, right? That ain't real. You know.
Yeah. And the size that you're like, that's it, I guess. Like I'll stick on that before we go back to the size thing is like that's why it must be such a big deal that these fly fishermen, I mean, other than like I think they're really more into like the just being out there, man, sort of nature experience of fishing, and that
Yeah.
this ties into that just like really staying focused on one thing task, but tying the colors on right is huge in the
Right.
fishing, in the fly fishing. Like I don't even know that much about fly fishing, and I know that like making sure the colors are right and tying your own flies to make the colors right and stuff like that. That must relate to what you're saying,
Yeah.
is like match the bug, right? Like match the hatch
Oh, for
by
sure.
making it even down to the colors.
Yes. Yep. Yeah, because there's even
Mm-hmm.
that happens. That happens like again. It's almost going back to the bugs because we're talking about crayfish, but that happens during
Yeah.
certain times of year. There's like the crayfish molt,
Oh,
and
right.
they'll change colors. So
Right.
sometimes, like in the springtime, red can work really good, and you won't catch shit on red the rest of the year.
Mm.
It's just like because the crayfish can be red that time of year, so they're like honing
Mm-hmm.
in on it. So
Right.
it's weird stuff like that where it's not only try to match the hatch to catch more fish. It's like my situation, do your best to be prepared. And this isn't me just being like you better, like I'm telling you because of experience. My weekend sucked shit because I couldn't figure out the fish. If I had been prepared and I had looked into that and I knew a little bit, if I had fly fishing gear, I would have switched to that in a heartbeat. Oh, this is what they're going after.
Oh,
And I
sure.
did and I did try switching to top water, but I don't have any top water that really mimics bugs. So you better believe that I'm going
Mm,
out there and trying to find that stuff. There's got to be some flies or something that I can get that's got to be close that I can use with spinning gear. Because no offense to any of the fly fishermen, I'm just not trying to get into that. This is a whole new
yeah.
ball of wax. There's so many different rods and reels, and I'm just not ready
Yep.
to dip my toe
And a new
into.
technique to learn too. Like,
Oh my
not that you
gosh.
couldn't. I think you could probably pick that up quickly, but like,
I think honestly, I'm not trying to shit on fly fishermen and just be like it's easier than it looks. But for me, yeah, whatever. I set high scores, bro. I'm, I think I'm I think I'm going out there and looking like I've done it for years, and people are just gonna be like, "You must be really into this stuff," and I just be like, "First time, I know I got it. It's fine. Don't worry about it." but you need to have a whole different kind of line, like it's different
right.
line that floats on the surface, and there's a reason that you can do that back and forth thing because it's a little bit stiffer and stuff, and then you have
Mm-hmm.
the rod is long and the reels are different and all that shit too. I
Yeah.
looked at it, and some of those reels are ridiculously expensive too,
Sure.
and those
Just like
rods,
any
like,
hobby,
oh
right?
my gosh, any of it. Yeah, and then you got to get waders if you're trying to fish, because most of the time you got to be in the water because you have to be away from everything, because when you're doing that thing you can't have anything behind you,
Oh,
you know?
right.
So you
Yeah.
have to be all sorts of setup. So I'm not trying to do any of that, but
Right.
I will be looking into some smaller uh like top water baits. I think I have a couple that mimic grasshoppers
Mm,
that I
okay.
use on the river every once in a while for smallmouth, because
Mm-hmm.
there's certain areas where I know there's trees and they're just waiting for bugs to fall out, and I'm like, grasshopper's close enough, but a grasshopper is not gonna, because I don't on the river. I think there's potential for like multiple bugs to fall in the water. So I don't think a
Oh, yeah.
smallmouth is sitting
Sure.
there waiting for a certain bug. I think they're just waiting for a bug.
Anything that just plop.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So,
Yeah.
but this is more of a specific technique, and honestly, the weekend before, the weekend after, probably doesn't matter. I probably not have to worry about that dragonfly thing. I might not even hit the same weekend next year.
Yeah,
I may
and
never have
depending
this
on the
situation
temperatures
have
too,
again.
you could be it could be a different weekend, or it could end up being Tuesday instead of the
Exactly.
Friday like it was.
Yep.
It's fucking hard because it's
Yep.
all kind of driven by the weather from what I understand.
Yes. Yeah. Yep. By the weather, by the water temp, all
Right.
sorts of different stuff plays a role in all this stuff. Mother Nature's kind of a weird thing where it's fairly consistent, but there's different things that trigger off different stuff, and
Mhm. At
it
different
might be the
times on
difference
the
between this weekend and next weekend. And
Mhm.
it's not like it's not like you need to do all this stuff. It's not like you need to be prepared for anything,
Right.
but just knowing and learning from basically my downfall, not being prepared for this, just knowing that it's a possibility that it could be happening, trying to look into what your
Mhm.
possibilities are, maybe just even
Right.
looking into it a little bit, because that dragonfly nymph thing just shut off everything
Right.
in the way of fishing that I normally do. So if you're prepared or you even have a little bit of an idea, then you can
Mhm.
go. And that's I going back to the fly fishing thing, that's what I
Mhm.
learned. I gotta really do some deep diving because there's so many different things that get regurgitated now on the internet. And like you were talking about with the different
Mhm.
search engines, maybe I need to look at a different search engine because it
Mm.
seems to be
Mhm.
all this promoted stuff.
Yeah.
But every
Dude,
single
and with
thing
fly
that you
fishing,
look
it's
at,
the worst, like,
yeah,
because
and
they're
it's
doing
all
that thing.
flies.
They're
That's
doing
all
the
it
thing what I
is.
was just talking about where they're like they're it's the resorts. The resorts are throwing money to get their shit boosted
Sure,
because they're catering to a stereotypical fly fisherman, I'll just say, and that is the
sure,
person who just wants to get out in nature. They actually probably don't care that much about fishing. Fishing
right,
is the thing that gets them out into nature. Being out into nature is why they're there. They just want to go to the resort and they just want to be there. And there's this whole just big what I see as there's this big resort budget that just says we're in the area, man. Bring your
yeah,
gear and just come hang out.
yeah. That's what you
If
see
you go
too.
fly
Where
fishing, don't worry about it. You got a hotel room.
yeah, it's almost
Eh,
like the article's like a just a little bit of an undertone. You know, it's where you're just like, I need to learn about the dragonfly nymphs, and they're just like, yeah, the dragonfly nymphs are something that you're going to be able to do. You know, you want to tie and you want it to look like this and stuff when you're coming out to beautiful Wyoming.
For real though. For real.
Just like, okay, that's not what. And I was trying to find um different, you know, webs pages where I'm like trying to Google it in like a multiple different ways, like,
Mhm.
you know, walleye fishing during the dragonfly hatch and
Mhm.
fresh you know, on the lakes and everything, and I just couldn't get past the fly fishing. And it's like there has to be something else in here when I would say a good at least 95% of the fishermen in Minnesota are fishing not fly fishing
Right.
gear. There's got to be an article out there someplace or somebody that knows what you should be doing in this situation.
Yeah.
And I wasn't able to find it because there was so much fly fishing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I didn't.
which is funny again to kick off the article is like or to how we kicked off this topic is like, yeah, that's what I found too. And so it became because I'm tired, because I'm already exhausted mentally, physically from workday, working on the house, dealing with a new sleep cycle with the kid. And I'm going, I'm not getting anywhere, man. And I got exhausted on it and
Yeah,
I was like,
dude.
God damn, I hope Tim
That's
just
what I
has
that's
stuff.
what I did, where I looked for a while and then I just said, "Fuck this. I'm grabbing whatever soft plastic I has that looks closest to it and trying some other like just gonna go fish."
Just trying it.
I was like, "I'm
Like
just
just
gonna
doing
go
some real
fish."
world science.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was like. I'll just go and tie on something that looks close enough, like the closest thing I have, and
Mhm.
try slightly different spots than what I have been fishing and see what happens.
Yeah.
And I'm
Fucking
pretty
look
sure
at
I
realaf.tv blog post in the future. Like I mean,
yeah.
I'm joking because I don't think you're ready to write an article about it, but like
Yeah.
it kind of is to that point. Like
Some of that
obviously
stuff.
this podcast is sort of it, but like or could be it. You could have a breakthrough and you could say,
Sure.
dude, we're gonna do a whole topic on this and I'm gonna tell you why
Yeah.
we're gonna like just get on the mic and listen to what I gotta say. That could happen. And
Oh,
then
for
maybe write an
sure.
article about it, right? I'm not saying that's out of Real AF TV's possibilities for the future.
Yeah.
It's already over this year. But
Sure.
like you'd do that, yeah?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, in the future too, when I have um like my own legitimate boat and I'm
Mhm.
calling all the shots and it's a lot easier to get out and stuff. I think I'm going to be able to break down more of this stuff and I'm going to be able to set goals of where
Mm.
it's like I I need to get,
Mm-hmm.
like there's a new one right there.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm not going to shy away and be like, "Ugh, dragonflies are hatching. We're going to go do something else." It's going to be like dragonflies are hatching. Perfect. Let's see if we can figure it out this year,
Yeah.
That's the kind
Yeah.
of guy I am, where it's like I
Right.
want to solve this puzzle,
Right.
and I will use websites to be like, did somebody else already solve this? Is there an
Right.
answer key? Is there
Right.
is there or is there somebody that can even like point me in the right direction? Because what
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
normally do this time of year isn't working. What should I be doing? And they're like,
Yeah.
you should fly fish. And I'm like, I don't want to fly fish. What can I do with the equipment I have?
Right.
And
Right. Right.
everyone just keeps just being like, fly fish is your only opportunity. And like, no, it's not. There's no way.
Right.
There's got to be a way we can solve
There
this.
has to be a different way. And so
Yeah.
to where you're going with that is because you're not the fly fisherman and you're looking for something on your gear. The match the hatch is still adopted by other things. Like I said, I saw a Bassmaster article and I read that. So like other fishing, just when you're fishing for other species, that's how I'll
Mhm.
put it. That is still something that is used. That's still a term that's used is match the hatch. It
Oh,
probably
for
came
sure.
from fly fishing and all that, yeah. But now
Yep.
match the hatch is just one of those really
And match
more
the hatch.
universal fishing
Yeah.
terms, kind of.
Match the hatch is just like a totally universal fishing term where it doesn't even mean what it initially meant, because matching the hatch is used for like if you're going to a lake that has these, you know, so say that you're going to a lake that has a alewife is a type of a bait fish. It's like a kind of
Oh,
a
okay.
silvery and it has like a yellow stripe on the side of it.
Okay.
Say that the lake you're going to has those bait available for the fish, that's their food source. Like
Okay.
you don't have
Yep.
any lures that are close to that. Maybe you want to go grab one of those, or you are fishing that lure that looks like the alewife and you're using it on a lake that doesn't have any of them.
Mm,
You might
okay.
catch a fish or two, but you're using a bait that's foreign to that lake. So those fish are kind of a little bit almost like weirded out. Like I don't know if they're
Yeah.
smart enough to be like, "Hey, that's not usual." I think it's just like they look at it and they don't even like, second guess it. They just look and
Yeah.
they're just like,
It
"I
just
don't
doesn't
even
catch their
know."
attention like it would because it's almost like not built into well, that's not almost. It's
Yeah.
just not in their ecosystem, so it doesn't catch their attention, right? Like
Yeah. Right.
they're tuned in to shit that they've already seen or that they're already feeding on, that they've already had exposure to. And so now all of a sudden
Yeah.
something new and they're kind of like, it just doesn't grab their attention the same.
Yep. Yep. Well,
And that's
that
just
solves it. It's fish are racist. And I'm sure there's some. All I can think of is just like they're used to what they're used to, and if anything comes into their area that doesn't look like what they want it to look like, they don't mess with it. Just you don't
Oh
look
boy.
like the fish I'm used to looking like. No, I'm not nope. Get them out of here. Just I don't. That's what the fish. No. Anyways, that was a very odd, weird thought, but that's what it.
It's funny.
That all I can think of is like, what is it like in the real world? And it's just like, I don't know. I guess that.
I guess segregation. Anyways,
Segregation. Yes, exactly.
I'll get us out of this here.
Sorry to take it in a weird situation, but yes, it's the match the hatch is used for all sorts of stuff. It's
Yeah.
just basically like match your bait to their natural food source.
Right. And that was what and again to bring it to this is now sort of a universal thing because fish hatch, bait fish hatch, which
Yeah.
means the way that you fish, not fly fishing,
Yeah.
more rod and reel type shit is
Yeah.
still possible to use match the hatch because you can just say like what are the fish that are hatching right now that the bigger predator fish would be looking for,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and match that. In fact, the Bassmaster article had some of the best stuff. It goes back to the size thing you were talking about, is like the size can matter because, this earlier in the spring, let's just use this for an example. You tell me if I'm wrong, or what your thoughts is on it. But like basically what it was is the size will matter. You throw the shiner, I'm just going to say the mimicking a shiner, and it's
Mhm.
early, and you throw the 3-inch shiner, and then you throw the
Yeah.
5-inch shiner 2 months down the road, because it still is sort of hatch season, or I should say 2 weeks down the road. It's still sort of hatch season, but
Yeah.
the shiner grew now, and so they're
Yeah.
now feeding on 5, and you're just trying to match that
Yeah.
bait fish, I guess, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think I kind of touched on that a little bit earlier. I don't know,
Yeah.
it was probably in the middle of a rant, but um it is that where it's like the 3-inch bait will work better in the springtime, and then like the 4 or even 5-inch bait will work better in the later into the year. And I don't know
Mhm.
if they'll actually grow that much in a year, or if just the bigger bait is what they key in on later in the year. But it's definitely like, for whatever reason, they seem to go to bigger fish later in the year, because I can fish a 3-inch soft plastic in the springtime, and then later in the
Mhm.
year that 3-inch gets no play. 4-inch
Yeah.
maybe gets a couple of eyes on it, and 5-inch is what I'm catching all my fish on.
It's
Like,
just
so
getting
I go,
slammed.
yeah,
Yeah.
so I go to a 2-inch bigger bait, and I mean, maybe it's just the effort versus energy, like, payoff deal, where it's like I'm
Mm.
not going to chase down a bait if it's not going to yield enough energy for me.
Mhm.
I'm not going
Yeah,
to
which fish
expend
seem
energy
really
if I'm not
keen,
getting the
like,
energy
it
back.
seems like they can key in on that somehow. There's, like, an instinct inside
Dude,
fish, it seems
yeah,
like, that they can do that.
there was an article one time where they put, like, I can't remember, I think it was bass, and they put, like, Cisco and bluegill in a tank or in the lake. I thought it was in the
Mhm.
tank,
Okay.
but whatever it happened to be, whatever this study did, what
Mhm.
it ended up happening was, it was a Cisco and the bluegill were of the same size
Mhm.
as far as length goes and the profile goes, but you turn them sideways, and those Cisco were thick little bitches, and they were keying in on that thick fish. They were eating the thick ones. They were the same fish, and it
Mm.
knew that that one has more substance to it, and I'm going to eat
Mhm.
all those thick ones.
Mhm.
Yeah, so it
So it
knows.
is, yeah.
They definitely know that, like, there's more substance to that one.
Yeah.
So it, and I
That
guess there's also
that
this
right there
thing
is
of just
match the
like,
hatch, right? I
yeah,
mean,
yeah,
that is
maybe,
knowing, like, what's the bait fish that's hatching, what is, even
right,
down to the size of the bug,
yeah,
because some of these might be smaller and they're not
right,
worth their time.
yeah. And I suppose even if you wanted to, like, play devil's advocate, maybe they were keying in on the Cisco for a different reason, but it still all harps back to match the hatch. For whatever reason,
Mhm.
maybe it's not just an energy thing, but the Cisco were what they were keying in on. Maybe it's a slightly different coloring and they were into that. Maybe I don't know. I would doubt that it's a flavor. I don't think they care about the taste. I think they just
Right. Can
care
fish
about it
taste?
being like a
That's another topic.
legit fish. Yeah, yeah. But for whatever reason, they were keying in on those. So that's your key. That's your match in the hatch. You gotta be casting out those, because they're eating bluegills. Sure, cast out a bluegill, you're gonna catch them. But the guy in your boat that's fishing the Cisco bait is gonna kill you. I mean, destroy you. He's gonna he's
It's
gonna
gonna kill
murder
you and
he's
fucking
gonna
throw you
murder
overboard.
you and your family and take your life insurance. No, I don't know. I mean, he's gonna he's gonna do better than you, and you guys are fishing.
Take your fucking life insurance.
He's gonna do better than you, and you guys are fishing in the same boat, and it's because he's matching the hatch, and
Right.
you're just coming
Continuing to just
close.
try.
Yeah, you're just coming close. You can. There's a lot of
Just
times you
coming
can
close.
catch. Yeah, there's a lot of times you can catch fish, but there's a way to catch more and better. That's why bass fishing is a professional sport. A lot of those guys aren't
Yeah.
coming in empty handed. but there's
Right.
one guy that has way more bigger fish than everybody else, and it's because he figured
Mm-hmm.
it out.
Yeah. Right.
Yep.
Exactly. That's it. I mean, that doesn't necessarily mean matching the hatch, but like it all plays in to that, like trying to
Right.
match what the fish are eating. And specifically in the matching the hatch, it's that springtime when fish are hatching and feeding and coming out of winter and going nuts. I mean, that
Right.
that is really kind of like
Yeah.
the meaning of match the hatch, right?
Exactly. Yep. And I should say too, like matching the hatch isn't always the answer, like you said, where it
Sure.
doesn't necessarily mean that when you're talking about fishing, because they're, you can be on a smallmouth lake, and for whatever reason they're super into fluorescent pink and fluorescent yellow and just these colors that are not found in the wild, and they're keying in on it, and
Mm-hmm.
they love it. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know, or they're mad at it. It doesn't matter. They're eating it, whatever their reasoning is.
Fucking
So
hate
imagine
fluorescent yellow.
matching the I can't talk. I tried to say it 5 times and it didn't come out right, so then I just had to hit the reset button there. But matching the hatch isn't always the answer, but matching the hatch is sometimes
Yeah.
100% the answer. So,
Right.
so it's that
Yeah.
game we play of
Right.
like, do I match the hatch or do I just go fucking ape shit? Because
Right.
what I normally do isn't working. So which one do I do now? How do I figure this out? How do I solve this puzzle? So it's sometimes try whatever you can think of to make it work, and
Right.
sometimes do exactly what you think should be happening right now, and that's the key.
Yeah. That's why I
So
love the way that you like brought it up with the matching the hatch topic. Was all the other stuff I was doing was shut off. And then you
yes,
made an observation in your environment and you went, yeah, check this out. This hatch is happening. I should try to match the hatch. Like it's
exactly.
just like it's that being observant. That's what fishing is in general. Is just like watching the environment, learning about the environment, and trying to just absorb that. I mean, that's
Mm-hmm.
the broad scope, but the specifics of matching the hatch are just like here's a technique almost, not
Yeah,
necessarily
yeah,
uh a surefire thing.
right. Yeah, and being aware of your surroundings is definitely a key. I mean, not trying to go off on like a whole nother tangent or whatever, but it's
No,
just
no, we're good.
pay attention to what you're seeing and stuff. You're seeing those bugs come up. That's great. I know a lot of different fishermen will, when they're on a body of water and they see like the seagulls dive bombing, it's because they're trying to grab the bait fish. And that same
Mm-hmm.
ball of bait fish that the seagulls are grabbing, there's probably fish that are underneath it grabbing, but
Mm-hmm.
maybe it's not the species you're going for. So
Mm-hmm.
sometimes it's, trying to figure out what's what, but definitely like there's keys, or there's hints, there's stuff you can learn.
Right.
Clear water helps with that too. You can see the fish, you can see what they're doing.
Right.
Sometimes you can learn a
Yeah.
little bit. So
Mm-hmm.
it's paying attention to your surroundings is definitely a big part of it. And now with the live scope and the side imaging and all the different stuff that you have available, you're able to see what fish are doing and trying to understand them without actually having to see them. So technology is helping a lot, and
Sure.
I can't speak on much of that because I don't have zero experience with those, even though I
Yeah.
got the side imaging. I just haven't been able to use it yet.
Right.
But I have nothing with the live imaging, nothing at all.
Right.
Dude, I watch some of those videos and I'm like,
Just watching
he's
videos.
like,
Right.
man, we got 3 here, and I'm just like, dude, sometimes I see those and I'm like, that looks exactly like a fish. I know exactly what's happening. Other times he's like, that's one right there, and I'm like, it is.
Is it though?
I don't even know. I can't. I have no idea what you're looking
Well,
at.
that's actually a good way to transition out of the fishing topic. I mean, a shorter one for this, but that's okay. The reason why I said it's a good transition is because we're gonna go into the random take about what you're watching, and I'm not talking about Netflix. I'm not talking about HBO Plus. I am, but I'm not saying that specifically because sometimes we're watching reels and YouTube
Oh
stuff
hell yeah!
and stuff like that. And that is what actually made me think about this topic is because like what's catching your attention on the screen right now? And that's why it could just turn
Yeah.
into Zelda talk for 45 minutes after this.
Oh yeah.
So if you are listening to this on Wednesday and it's going to end the fishing topic right here, that was sort of your teaser. Like, fucking Friday, just wait Friday, or jump back, listen to the whole full podcast. It's out there. Just go over to Spotify or something like that. But yeah, Tim, what do you say?
Yep.
And in Match of the Hatch, episode 1 of Match of the Hatch for now, and then we'll jump into what you're watching, and we'll touch back on this. There's no way Match of the Hatch ain't coming up again after that.
Oh no, no way, no.
Yeah, that sounds like a running thing now.
A running thing for sure. Yeah, I think maybe we'll even bring it up as like a segment of just being like Match of the Hatch, or as just like an update type deal. And I might just come in with just like here's an update. I found a thing. Here's the thing you should know.
Hell yeah.
You know, that kind of stuff, where if I find something, I'll definitely share it with you guys.
Yeah.
Just haven't figured out how to find it yet.
Not yet. All right, dude. Killer, hit the break.
Boom, 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 boom.
Here we are, patreon.com/realaftv. That's right, patreon.com/realaftv. Real like fish and reel. We are on Patreon, and we are coming to tell you, and by we, I mean me and Tim, Real AFTV podcast here, coming to you to say we have a Patreon as low as $1 a month, but hey, you could go up to $100 if you really wanted to get crazy with it. It's there. Go over to our website, realaf.tv. You can find the Patreon link right there, or go to Patreon and look us up, Real AFTV, Real Like Fish and Reel. And we have things like, for $50 a month, we will customize, what kind of tackle is it, Tim? We have some in the warehouse right now that we haven't actually ran on.
A lure. Yes.
A lure. Thank you.
Is a crankbait.
Crankbait.
Yes. We will customize a crankbait for you.
At the $50 tier. Also, Patreon, if you're new to the whole Patreon thing, if you're on a podcast, you're probably not that new to it. But Patreon is something that you can jump in and out of. Like if you do $50 this month, bam, you get the custom lure, but you don't want to do that for the whole year. You jump down to the $5 a month tier, where you're going to get early access content. You can help vote on the random take, one of the random takes for the month. And, we'll keep up with you on Patreon as well. Like just a direct Patreon contact. There's communication you do only through Patreon. That's what I'm trying to say. So if you're new, there's just a little intro to it.
Yeah. And to clarify, that custom painted lure is a fully custom painted lure, like the pattern and everything. That won't be just something that we have a lure that we just like write Real AFTV on.
Yes. Thank you, Tim. Thank you for clearing that up, because yes, it's a slug, for lack of a better word, right now, and it will be turned into something.
Right.
I'm not good at the whole fishing lingo, so maybe Tim, you could evaluate on that a little, or like elaborate on that.
Yeah, I mean, it's right now it has no color, and I will give it color.
There we go.
It will look like a bait fish imitation of some sort. It might not be exactly colored. It might not be realistic. Some of that stuff out there that the different companies work with makes different stuff, but it will be a custom painted lure, and it won't look like dog shit. Because not to be too full of myself, but I have some talent.
You have some artistic talent. Yes. Yeah, very true. If you know friends and family and stuff like that got a few bucks to kick our way, let them know. realaf.tv. Scroll down a little bit. There's the Patreon link. It'll shoot you right over. Sign up for a little bit.
Yeah.
How's it going, friends and family of the internet? Welcome back to the Real AFTV podcast show about fishing random takes. Like, you have made it into the random take, where we're going to just talk about what's catching our attention on our screens. I think it's, I have it written down as what you're watching. But if you've been following the podcast lately, it's been a Zelda cast in the back half.
Shit,
We
yeah, it
might
has been.
end up stumbling into that. And I can give you a few
I
reasons why if I were to start this topic. Um, but I don't want to start this topic because you watch more reels than I do and stuff like that. And that's kind of how we ended on the fishing
hell
topic.
yeah, I do.
And I get a lot of your reels. I mean, I get a lot of reels from you on Instagram, and they're fucking awesome. So I don't want to start this topic because I want to say I want to ask you a question, and that is, are reels like something you're watching? Like, is that's a significant form of entertainment for you? Would
I
you say?
watch I'm those are my two addictions. Is Zelda and Reels, and sometimes I never want to stop playing
Sometimes I'm
Zelda.
doing both.
They're both in my lap. I have a phone in one hand and the other. But I never want to stop playing Zelda to scroll through Reels, but sometimes I will be scrolling through Reels like I need to put this down and
Mm, yeah,
and make some progress on Zelda here.
and play Zelda
And
instead.
dude, I'm almost ashamed to say it because I'm honestly like addicted right now. I'll get back to Reels real quick, but
Yeah,
I gotta
no,
say,
no.
because I've been playing like on the weekends too, where I'll go out fishing, and my parents have a cabin, so when we're up there, there's like nothing else. So I'll go out, and
Yeah.
then I come back in, and my mom's like making lunch or getting stuff ready. So we come back in, and I'll play that until it's lunchtime, and then we'll eat lunch and go fishing again. I come back in, I play until my son's like, "Let's go swimming," and I think I'm already like 70 hours in.
Holy fuck, dude.
I
Hell
know.
yes.
It's
This game is
ridiculous.
fucking crazy.
I can't stop playing it because it's just so fun where I'm just like, I
Dude.
want to get a little bit farther. I am in the same lack of sleep mode as you because I literally go, I just need to get a little bit farther. And then every night I'm going
One
to
more
bed at
hill.
like
I just want to go over one more
11:30.
hill.
I know. I'm getting like 6 hours of sleep and I'm like, this is fucking stupid. And but then I keep doing it.
And you do it anyway. Just do it again.
So yeah,
I'll tell you this right now. I built my Switch into be collector's edition only goes into the game console. Like the physical
okay.
version is collector's only. I buy everything else digital. Like Splatoon is
Okay.
one of my favorite. Splatoon 2, easily one of my most played games in the last 10 years. I got Splatoon 3 right away. Love these games. To me, not collectors. I'm just super into the gameplay. Like that's my shooter, right? That's
Sure.
my pick it up, 10 minutes
Sure.
here, stop, all that stuff. But not a collector. So I don't care that I don't have the physical edition. I'm just straight up digital because I can just turn it on and play. I don't have to worry about the cartridges. Well, the Switch is my workout machine. We don't have gym memberships or anything like that right now. So I have Ring Fit Adventure, and it's the only game that requires it's like the only game that's impossible to get digital because it requires the extra attachments.
Yeah.
So the only thing that keeps me from doing what you're doing is that I have physical Zelda and Ring Fit in it. And Ring Fit goes in at right away
Oh
in the
yeah.
morning.
Sure.
And then in order for me to switch over to Zelda in the evening, I have to get up and I have to open the Switch. And I have to
Yeah.
and it's such a small process, but it's enough to keep me from being completely addicted to it. Because when I was
Right.
the Wii U, and
Yeah.
when I had in Breath of the Wild, I had the Wii U edition. There was nothing else I was playing on the Wii U. It was
Right.
like the reason I bought the Wii U.
Yeah.
It had a disc in it, and that was it. I picked that motherfucker up.
Dude, I'd be right now I'd be playing Pokemon also like because they still have the raids and stuff, but
Oh yeah.
they've been having bugs.
Oh shit.
So
No
it's been
kidding.
like, yeah, there was a couple of like where they're just like, here's an event. And then like something would happen and it was like uh there was like one where for some reason it was like written in that it said no item is one of the things you would get as a reward. Like it would give you a
Okay.
bunch of items, but one of the slots said no items. and it was like screwing with people's systems. Like it would just go back to like they never caught that Pokemon back to like before they were doing anything, and they just kind of like shut it down and stopped doing it. So I haven't even been back on, but I watch YouTube videos every once in a while to see if anybody's talking about some new shit.
Just
and I
to
just
make sure
haven't
you're not
hopped back
missing
on. I
anything.
literally I haven't hopped back onto the other game is at all. So it's just in there and it's ready to roll. I never shut it off. That's the other thing.
No,
It's
never
just
shut off
on
your
all
Switch.
the time.
It's just on all the
You
time.
just hit the button and it's ready to roll.
And bam,
There's
you're
no
back in that
wait.
shit.
There's no waiting at all. You're just going. The moment you get the moment you get a fraction of a second.
Yep.
You're just like, boom. It's nothing.
And that's the other part about it, right? Like if I have to switch discs, that means I have to shut down the other game and then I have to put in the disc and then I have to boot up Zelda. But like when it's your Zelda machine, dude, fuck me, just play all the time.
Yeah. And it's just like it's just like what people are doing with their phones and looking at reels.
Exactly
I find them doing the same shit too. And that's what I am doing when I have my phone closest to me. But I'll go out of my way to just be like, oh, I gotta take a shit. I gotta go grab my Switch.
Yep. I know. Like your phone's in your pocket. You could just go flip through reels, but you're like, yeah. Nope. I'm gonna have to swing by the TV stand quick because it's in the charger and just grab that thing out while I go take a shit.
And 20 minutes later, your wife's just like, are you still pooping? And just be like, no, I'm journeying through Hyrule Kingdom. Listen, I found an old map, and the old map told me to go into this cave, and there's got to be something good in here. I know it. It literally X marks the spot on my map. There is a treasure in here. Just hold on a second.
Just wait, okay?
There's something cool in this cave, okay? I don't know how long this cave. Just be like, I have to apologize because honestly, I was just like, I just need to finish this cave quick. This cave is huge.
I mean, I'm constipated.
Yeah. That's what I'll have to just start doing. Are you still pooping? I wouldn't say I'm pooping. I'm trying awfully hard. I wouldn't say I'm pooping. I don't want to talk about it. Can you just leave me alone?
Could you go get me some medicine? Not at the Walgreens down the street. The one across town. They have the good stuff. They have the grape flavor. The other one here doesn't. They only have the bubble gum.
I saw a video of this guy. His elephant was constipated, and he like blew in his butt to help it poop. And unless you want to come in here and try some stuff like that, just stay out there and leave me alone.
Now, did you really see that on Reels? I mean, that's a great way to transition into Reels.
Yeah, I did. It was some weird shit. Oh man, some guy just goes up and just like giving this elephant's butt CPR.
I'm writing that down as one of the things I'm going to put as the key phrases in the YouTube video. Elephant butt CPR. That's too funny. That's too funny for me. It's not right down. Like, so no, tell me about Reels and like how that is like one of your entertainment, because I think it's elephant butt CPR. Fuck me, I can't get rid of it.
Oh man, yeah. So, anyways, the Reels, yeah, dude, I'm doing it all the time because it's such a good. It really is a good form of entertainment. I know, like people are like, "Oh, the TikToks got me figured out," and whatever.
Yeah,
Facebook kind of has the same stuff, but when you try to send any of your stuff to people, it doesn't work right. It's because you're grabbing stuff from other media outlets.
Right.
A lot of times you're sending stuff from Facebook and it's a clip that's like on Instagram, and then when it gets sent to the person, it doesn't come through right. My wife scrolls through some of the stuff on Facebook and sends me a clip, and half of the time it's just like, that's not available, or I click on it and it sends me to some link and I watch some clip for like 30 seconds and I'm like, that was stupid as shit. And then I realized like, oh, that's not what she was even trying to show me. Whatever she was trying to show me, the thumbnail didn't look anything like the video I just watched.
Yeah.
It's like whatever Facebook's algorithm or whatever just says like, oh, we don't have it. Just send them something else and see if they don't notice. Like, I don't know. It sucks. So I'm on Instagram all the time. And I'm not trying to get into the weeds about TikTok because I don't know all about TikTok, but I've heard
Sure.
some things, and I'm like, I don't know. I haven't heard anybody being like, Instagram's evil. So that's my place
Well,
of
and
choice.
you already had Instagram too, like, and you were already
Yeah,
in it, and like,
and it
yeah, it's
knows
just
it
different. It was just
gets
sort of
me.
like it happened to Instagram.
Yeah,
You didn't
and
have to
it
go
gets
out
me.
and get it like you
Right.
do TikTok.
And when I'm scrolling through, like, the algorithm knows what I want to see. It throws in other stuff because it knows that I'm just like, because of the algorithm, it knows that I'm like a red-blooded American. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So every once in a while, it's just like, do you want to see some ass? And it'll just have
Yeah,
like a girl shaking her butt. And I just
I
go,
know.
not what I'm here for, Instagram, but okay, whatever. Yeah, that wasn't
Right.
bad.
Yeah,
So I'm not going to
that
tell
was
you,
okay. Yeah, did I enjoy it? Sure, yeah, nice ass.
sure.
But that's not what I'm here for. I know,
I
I
didn't
fucking
watch the
hate that.
full reel. It just happens real quick. You're just like butt, and you go, a nice butt, and swerve out to the next one. You know,
Right,
I'm not watching the whole time. Sometimes I'll stick around and be like, is there more to this? And then just like, nope, just watch 30 seconds of ass. Cool.
right.
That's not what I'm here for. You're wasting my time with this shit. I'm here for entertainment purposes.
Right.
If I wanted to see ass, I would just go look at ass. It's so easy to find.
It's right. I am on
So
the internet after all.
this is the internet. It's everywhere. It's not even hard to find in public these days. I mean, Walmart, and these girls are wearing shorts where their ass cheeks are hanging out the bottom of the shorts. And I'm like,
Yep.
literally, I tell my wife, have conversations about it with your wife too, because it's the best way to look at butts in public. And just be like, are you seeing that ass right there? They're
Yeah,
sticking
I
out of the
totally do
shorts.
that.
Yeah, you kind of talk shit about it. And meanwhile, you're just like, and then most of the time, I literally tell my wife, like, I'm not mad at it. But that's crazy, right? Like,
but like my
it's
brain
just,
right away going, that's odd, right? Is that reaction's normal?
yeah, I'm just like, I hope you don't feel like that I'm being misogynistic, but if you leave the house in those shorts, I'm not going to be happy. That's not okay. I don't want everybody seeing your ass. That's
Right.
mine. They can't have, nobody, not everybody else gets to have it. Okay, what's this about?
I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Yeah, like her boyfriend's got me mad as hell that I'm looking at her butt right now. This is
Because I'm
right
totally
because
looking. How can I not?
I'm looking at her butt. You're looking at her butt. We're looking at her butt. Should we stop looking? It's been a while. We've been talking about it pretty loud for a while now. And so,
Is it weird? Is it weird now? When's it
is
get
it
weird?
weird?
Can we keep looking? Wait a
No,
minute.
she's looking at us.
Should look away. Look away.
I was just telling her how good your socks. Whatever. I got. Look over there, and then just run. Oh man. But Shannon's not ready for it. My wife, she's just leave her sitting there.
She's just standing there now.
I run away.
You're 6 hours deep into the men's clothing somehow, just disappearing into racks.
Yeah.
Just behind fucking racks of pants. No one can even see you anymore. She's just standing there staring at some chick's ass.
She's staring at some chick's ass. That chick is just being like, were you guys both looking at my butt? And I'm just hiding in the shirts. Like, anyways, Instagram. Yeah, I'm scrolling and stuff because it knows what I like to see. Like there's a couple of different, I follow a shit ton of fishing stuff.
Yep.
So it's always giving me fishing videos.
Mm-hmm.
I like cars, so it's giving me car stuff. I like athletes, but it gives me a lot of like athlete news, which is not something I'm interested in where I can look. But when I'm going through the reels, for the most part, that one understands me. Like when I just click the search thing, it'll give me a bunch of pictures of shit I don't really care about.
Yeah.
But when
I
I'm
have that same thing with Instagram.
Yeah, when I'm scrolling through the reels, it'll just be like fishing thing, some viral cooking thing, which might be what they hit everybody with, but I enjoy cooking too, so that hits the right thing.
So it fits, yeah.
People eating shit, like wiping out. I like that. They show me a lot of different stuff, and part of it I like because I'm not seeking out these things is I don't know what's coming, and some of it'll be pretty cool. I saw one the other day where this dude was doing Like, I don't know if you call it a manual or if you call it a wheelie when you're doing it on a scooter,
Oh,
but he was
I'm not
doing like
sure.
a manual on the back wheel,
Uh-huh.
and he was holding it for a really long time, and I was like, I don't like scooters, but that's kind of good.
Mhm.
And then at the very end of the clip, he's like hopping off of this ledge that he was doing the manual across, and doesn't pull up proper like you're supposed to on like a bike or anything else with the
Mhm.
handlebars. And because you're holding on to the handlebars, you
Mhm.
always smash your face. And this was like a bench to bench thing, and he smashed his face so goddamn hard into the next bench.
Oh
I was like,
gosh.
that's pretty cool. And then like, oh, and then I was just like, Instagram gets me. It's just like, here's a little manual that you probably didn't know you liked because it's on a scooter, but you think it's okay, impressive for a while too. And
Yep.
then also eating shit at the end of it. Don't you love it? And I was like, I do love it. I sent it to my wife right away. I'm just like, watch this guy eat shit.
Watch this guy eat shit.
So I'm constantly sending I send those clips out to a lot of different people, and I send it to people
Mhm.
uh where I'm just like, I like that, and here I think this person will also enjoy it. So
Right.
I'm like hand picking like what I like. If I like it, I'm normally sending it to like you or my wife or my sister-in-law. Like my sister-in-law today, um, she doesn't eat sushi, but we just for my niece's birthday, we had like a thing where we were like making sushi because they're into sushi now. So like the
Mm.
whole
Mhm.
um it was like an Asian inspired birthday party where we had like egg rolls, and I say Asian because I
Mm.
don't know what parts of Asia all these
What
different
parts
foods
of
were
Asia
from.
all this stuff comes from,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So
Usually it's
we're
multiple, so you're good.
yeah, because we had like Chinese food and sushi's Japanese, so I know we had
Right.
at least two of them, but it was all
Right.
these different, and they like to order these different like cookies and stuff that are from China, like the yan yan. It's like
Oh.
these sticks with this like chocolate stuff that you dip it in and
Oh,
eat. I don't know
yeah.
if those are Japanese. Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
But anyways, so I found one where it was like you put your sticky rice in a waffle iron and it makes crispy rice. And then you put
Oh,
all your
yeah.
different parts of sushi on there with your sauce, and you're like, here's your crispy rice waffle sushi
Oh,
deal. And I'm like, hell yeah. So I sent that to
that's
her
pretty
because we
cool.
just ate a bunch of sushi.
Right.
And then, I'm sending you shit where it's like people eating shit or crazy fishing ones.
Yep.
I saw one tonight where I show it every once in a while. I gotta show it to stuff like you or people like you because I show it to my wife and she's like, I don't get it. And I'm just like,
I
I
love those
showed it to
ones
you because
though.
I thought it was really cool. You didn't like you don't care at all. The guy was on the side of the boat and they're in the ocean and they see like a big school of bait fish, right?
Okay.
Takes his shirt, kind of holds it out, like how like when you got a lot of shit and you want to put it on the inside, to help your
Yeah.
shirt hold.
Yeah,
He
for
does it the
sure.
opposite, where he just like fans it out, jumps in like it's almost a net, and once he lands into the bait fish, he quick like closes it up. So he just got all these fish like swimming around in his chest. Gets back in the boat, like opens it up, and he's got hundreds of bait fish that he just caught
No
with
way,
his
dude.
shirt. Yeah, and it's like
No way.
it's like a bunch of Spanish speaking dudes. I don't know if they're down in Mexico or what, but I don't
Uh-huh.
know what they're saying, but they're all just yelling and laughing their ass off because this dude just caught all this bait fish in his shirt. And I was like, hell yeah, that was dope. And I show
Yeah,
my
dude.
wife and she's like, I don't get it. And he's like, he just caught a bunch of bait fish with his shirt. And she's like, and
Right.
that's it? And I'm like,
What?
yeah, what do you mean? That's
Yeah, what do you mean that's it?
she's like,
That's
but why? And I
fantastic.
was like, I don't know. He didn't have a net, or he wanted to be like, I can do this without a net. I don't know. It's fucking cool. Like,
Yeah, it was
it just,
cool. What?
stuff like that, or like just constant like taxman stuff. The sharks are
Shark, yeah.
smashing other. I see videos about that all the time. Somebody trying to get in their tuna, and the shark comes and eats it, or a grouper comes and eats it. I saw one recently where a grouper came and ate a shark. Like they were reeling up a small shark and the grouper ate the small
Oh,
shark.
fuck,
And
dude.
I was like, hell yeah. Yeah, man. So I'm
Oh my
definitely
god.
scrolling. That's a very good point of like, what are you watching? I bet I watch just as much reels as I do um the like TV and stuff.
Yeah.
because it's so easy to, just like the Switch, it's so easy to consume a little bit here and there.
Yeah. Well, and
I'll
it
do
sounds
it.
like it's just feeding you a bunch of stuff too. So it's almost like where you're you're really into fishing stuff. So watching a half an hour fishing show is fun.
Yeah.
You just consumed 3 minutes of fishing, but you saw
Yeah.
30 different things or something like that.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And you're seeing all this different stuff really quick, and the comics and stuff too. I like comedy. And every once in a while it'll hit me with somebody that I don't know, or it'll hit me with like this guy on that guy's podcast. And I go,
Mm.
"Oh shit, I didn't know they knew each other, or they did a podcast together." And then I'll go find that podcast. And
Mm-hmm.
then I'll
Right.
consume the long form of whatever it was.
Right.
So sometimes it's just a good jumping off point.
Right. Yeah.
Like
For sure.
like Shane Gillis was on Joe Rogan's podcast, and I just saw one clip, and I'll send just that clip to my wife where it's like, I listened to the whole podcast already, and there was many parts that I laughed at. And then when it plays this clip, I'm just like, oh, that was a good part. And now I can send that to her and be like, I don't need to explain what I heard. I don't need to try to put, he said this, he said that. Isn't that
Mm-hmm.
funny? I get to be like, here's this 30-second clip of what I thought was hilarious. Just watch it. I don't have to go and find the timestamp on this
Right.
2-hour long podcast. Here's the 30 seconds I thought was hilarious, and so did
Right.
everybody else.
Yep.
It's
It's just
good
so
stuff like
much.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. For sure.
I'll just tell you real quick that clip was just Shane Gillis and stuff, and they're talking about like buff women, and he's just like, "You like buff women?" And he's just like, "But I can't do the armpit hair." And Joe's just like, "Yeah, I kind of like it. I don't mind it." And he's like, "Wait, you like buff chicks with armpit hair?" And he's like, "Do you getting close, dude?" It's just like, man, that was the way
That's
it
it.
was
That's
said
the
was
reel. That's the whole
perfect.
reel.
And like, you get it because of what I said it, but like when I
Right.
say that to my wife, I don't know, like the whole "you're getting close, dude." I don't know if that really works that well. But when you
Right.
hear the actual conversation, not somebody else regurgitating it, it's like, that's perfect. Now I can send this to you, and then I see this, and
Mm-hmm.
I go, now I can see this to you. And then my wife gets bummed out though, because there's a lot of times where she's like, here's a reel that I thought you would think is funny. And then I go, I do think it's funny, and I've seen it. And like almost every single one is like, yes, I've seen this. It's good. You've seen that too? Yes, I've seen them
Yeah.
all, I think. I
I'm
don't
sorry.
know. I just like,
I've gone through all of reels. I've just been through all the reels.
yeah. I definitely see new stuff all the time, but it's like, I don't know. Half of the time she's finding stuff that's like 10 years old, and she's like, have you seen this?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like before I was ever on Instagram. I don't
Right.
know,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah. This was hot on YouTube back when you were up when Chocolate Rain was cool.
I turn away from the mic so you can't hear me
So you
breathe.
can't hear me breathe.
It's so funny how he has that subtitle now.
So I watch a decent amount of YouTube. Just
Yeah.
mostly it's like podcasts and stuff like that.
Oh,
But like
sure.
Meat Eater's been hitting YouTube pretty hard. So I won't go into that yet. But also I watch a lot of video game stuff. So there's MinMax here in Minnesota, and I've been watching a lot of
Oh, sure.
stuff that they do. And there's a guy on there, Leo Vader. He does his own YouTube channel,
Okay.
and he had I just watched this episode, and this is why I brought it up, because Tay Diggs is the Chocolate Rain guy.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I love a good joke, so I'm gonna I don't expect you to go look this up, but it's so funny because it's like he does these like 25-minute long videos. Sometimes they're funny, mostly it's like a comedy situation, but it's not like joke. It's not like, it's an opposite
Sure.
of a real situation where you just like hang in there.
Yeah.
He just starts in the middle of this. He just starts, because it's about him being trapped in a computer. And so it's
Okay.
super scattered, super random. He's just doing things like, oh, we're in your computer. Oh, that's weird that you have one of those like, dominatrix 3D models that lives on your computer, on your screen. I guess I'll hang out with her or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's kind of just like a running thing, and you're going, okay, yeah. You watch the whole thing, and then he goes, oh, cameos, huh? You're gonna watch cameos? Yeah, those can be fun, I guess. Yep. It's weird. It's weird what celebrities will do. Isn't it weird that Brett Favre's more expensive than John Candy? I mean, John Candy's dead, but like
Right.
a bad
Yeah.
example. But like,
Sure.
that's weird, right? Like, why would Brett Favre charge more to do the same thing that this famous
Yeah.
actor? I don't know. Cameo's weird. What a weird space to be in. And then he just keeps going back on. Oh yeah, all right, we're back in your YouTube channel. You've been clicking on some weird shit lately. It's kind of funny. And then you get to the end, and he did Tay Diggs. He paid Tay Diggs
To do
on
the
Cameo to
yeah.
do the thing that he was doing. So he just, Cameo, you get that short description, but they have to make like a 60-second long video.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just Tay Diggs trying to pretend he's inside a computer for 60 seconds. It's so fucking awkward, dude. I'm in this computer. I guess this is kind of weird. What am I doing in this computer? Is that a DOS prompt? Because he didn't write a script for him, so he's just like trying to improvise for 60 seconds. That's so like middle of the video, you think nothing of this Cameo joke, and then the joke at the end is, isn't it weird that people will do things on Cameo for a certain amount of money, like a small amount of money?
Now I gotta seek that out because I want to see. Wonder if he was clever. Well, I'm sure he wasn't clever enough, but those people aren't actors. They're not improvisational. I don't know. I can't talk. They're not.
Yeah, he's not an improviser. Yeah.
It'd just be like, I'm in this computer. Is that a video of me 20 years ago? Oh, seems to be. Chocolate rain. Just tie it into himself. That would be good, but I bet he
should have. I don't know. I don't think he did that. I don't know if he's trying to shed the chocolate rain thing or what it is, but
dude, that's the only reason he's on Cameo.
I know. I was gonna say, but why would anybody else? He's got a cool voice, and you could but then you just go pay him to be a voice actor, not fucking get a cameo of him, right? I don't know. It's just weird, and I just thought it was well written, and I just thought because I didn't. You don't see it coming in the grand scheme of the joke, but the joke still plays here as we're talking because it's just it's Tay Diggs being super awkward.
Right,
so good.
He's an awkward dude. You could tell in that video right away where he's like just being like, I lean away from the mic, just like I think we all get it. You know,
I agree. Yeah. I'll get it. Right. You don't have to give us a tutorial.
We understand how microphones work. You make a noise right here. We get it. So you're
right.
All right. Yeah.
Move to the side. Move to the side. It gets quieter. That's yeah. Okay. Understood. Oh no! Please go.
Oh, I don't know if you were going to keep on going that too. I wanted to say real quick that another thing that I was watching was the NBA Finals, which are over now, and I got to give a heads up. I got to do two different things because it ties into each other a little bit. First off, I got to say congratulations to the Nuggets because they won the whole thing, and it makes me feel way better about my squad, the Minnesota Timberwolves, because yes, we lost in the first round, but we lost to the Denver Nuggets, who hold the whole thing. We lost. Right. We won one game against them. We almost won a second game. We were down, we lost by 3 points. The Phoenix Suns won 2 games. The Los Angeles Lakers in the West Finals got shut out, got swept, didn't win a single game. And the Heat won 1 game. We did just as well against the Nuggets as the Eastern Conference champions.
Right. Yeah.
So nobody could do anything against them. It was their year. So it's like, yeah, that makes me feel way better, you know?
Right.
Obviously, the people are just like, oh, there's no moral victories. And it's like, no, there kind of is. Because people talk shit. You're not going to beat them. They don't have a chance. Nobody had a chance. LeBron James and the Lakers didn't beat them one time.
Not even once.
Not once.
Yeah. Which means they came in with the Heat, dude. They were just not the Heat because, well, anyways, Miami wasn't in the
Yeah.
But it
So
just was a
here's
bad time. Talking about basketball is a bad time to
yeah.
reference that. But yeah, they came in. They were just gonna. That was it. You're right. But yeah, that was actually something that I did want to talk about. So we'll just keep going down that
Okay.
route. Did you watch it?
Yeah, I watched quite a few of the games, like a little bit here and there. That was another thing where it was just like, oh, let's throw that on. Because a lot of times my son when he goes to bed, he wants just mom in there. So
Oh
she'll
yeah.
help him go to bed. I put on basketball. I'll grab the Switch and just kind of have it playing in the background and just kind of like
Yep.
listening. And if somebody's like makes a big hubbub, I'll go back a little bit and see what the play looked like, or look up every once in a while and watch a little bit of it go down.
Yep.
Timeout, foul, whatever. Every time there's a lull in the action, I can look down and play a little bit, and then pause it and get back into it. But the one thing I wanted to say about like Instagram tying in was you could
Oh
see
yeah.
some different clips, but I freaking hate most of our fans that are on Instagram because
Most of the
I
Timberwolves, the Minnesota
most of
Timberwolves
the
fans.
Timberwolves fans that are like loud on Instagram, because I'll tell you right now, I hope you guys see this and I hope you're watching. You are a bunch of bitches. End of story. You guys suck. The Nuggets win. Our team posts on our Instagram, congratulations Nuggets, and then like post a couple of pictures with like Anthony Edwards trading jerseys with Jamal Murray. I think his first name's Jamal. That might be wrong, but it's Murray.
Mm-hmm.
And then like the players being like, yeah, we played a good game, switching some stuff and saying good game to them.
Mm-hmm.
You look at half of the comments right away, because every once in a while I look at the comments and they're just like, take this post down, this is bullshit, and just like always fine with being second place. And it's like, first off, we were far from second place, you idiots. We lost in the first round. So
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit here
That's
and
not
argue with
second.
all of you. And they're just like, oh, such a beta post. And it's just like, I mean, if you want to look at it that way, Nuggets were the top dog.
Yeah.
Technically the alphas, correct? Yeah, I
Right.
guess we make beta posts until we're the alphas. What are you people doing? Why are you sitting here saying like, ooh, take the post down? Shut up. I got on there and I just had to comment. I was just like, what the fuck is all this about taking the post down? Nobody knows how to say good game anymore. You can't just
Right.
be like, good game, Nuggets. Y'all have to be like, get rid of that. Oh, they won and we didn't. Get rid of, don't tell me anything about other teams. Like,
I
say
know.
good game. We made it to the playoffs. They made it to the playoffs. Their reason we got knocked out of the playoffs.
Yeah.
Say nice work. And nobody's excited like me to know
Right.
that the team that beat us was the team that beat everyone. That
Right.
makes me feel good.
Yeah.
It sucked when we got knocked out of the first round, but when the team that beat us is the team that beat everybody,
Right.
it makes you feel a little bit better. And instead,
Yeah.
everybody's just like, don't put this post up.
Don't.
I'm going to cry.
I'm gonna cry.
Just like go follow some other page, or just if you don't like it, just go to something else. You really have to get on the comments and just be like, how could you even post something about a different team on our team's thing? Well, first off, it's the off season. Second off, half of these players have come from different teams. Are you all fucking stupid?
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
most of these players are not players that have just been on the Timberwolves.
No, that's
Every time we
rare anymore today. Like that
I
doesn't
know.
fucking happen anymore.
Every time we trade for somebody, are we just gonna be like, this guy came from the fucking stinky Knicks? Oh, stupid ass Knicks! Are you shitting me? Stupid Knicks! I hate the Knicks, and I will never have a Knick on my team. And just like you're getting very close to accidentally saying something that sounds way worse than it is. So I'm gonna
Than
stop
what
this.
you're intending to say.
I started saying it and I'm like, it's really getting on the verge of saying like it wouldn't be the full word, but it's starting to sound pretty weird. And that's what the Instagram
But that's what the
comment
whole
section
Instagram.
is.
Yeah. No, that was the perfect analogy though for the comment section. Seriously. It really
Yeah.
was and is. It's I fucking dude, yeah, I hate that. And that is actually part of why like I'm not saying I don't, because I do. I watch a lot of YouTube. I listen to a lot of YouTube. But like I am picking up more and more shows on YouTube because like
Okay.
Hot Ones,
Oh yeah.
that's a real show. I mean, the Hot
Yeah.
Ones interviews show, right?
Hell yeah.
It's on Hulu. It's like every season is just on Hulu. Like Hulu picked it up.
Yeah. Yep.
That whole network, First We Feast, like that's they're making real TV, and
Mm-hmm.
you just watch it on. And I say real as in like they're making your 20 or so minute episodes, like Meat Eater. That one's one I'm watching a lot of. To go back to that, not to
Yeah.
drag on this topic anymore, but I just want to do this really quick, and then we can start wrapping it up. Or if you want to keep going, let me know.
Sure.
If you got
Yeah.
another thing,
I don't
they
think so.
so they have a cooking show on there, and they cooked cougar.
Ooh.
Dude.
Big cat. Yeah.
Yeah, isn't that crazy to think about? Yeah.
The cat noise is just like a silent, like wow. 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 But yeah, dude, that is crazy. I don't know. I don't think I've ever, I mean, besides like fish, because fish eat other fish, I don't know if I've ever ate like a true predator.
I know.
Yeah.
I've eaten a bear, but a bear.
Have you?
Black bears like don't really eat that much meat.
Oh, sure. Yeah, they're kind of like the hunter gatherer where they'll get some meat, but they're also cool with like eating berries and stuff, right?
Yeah, like they're way more berry focused, and it seems like if a black bear does eat meat, it's like always roadkill or something.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're not very good. My understanding about a black bear, and hey, correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but my understanding of a black bear is they're not really like a predator so
Oh, a
much.
little bit,
Like they're not
of a,
very
like
good at being a predator.
they're like a gatherer scavenger.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
So yeah, it was just it's crazy to watch. Like that's again a real network making like reels are entertainment. Reels are real entertainment. I do acknowledge that. I think it's like
for sure.
it's like Funniest Home Videos, except for it's in your hands now. It's that idea of just like that quick laugh and keep it going.
AFV even is on the reels. There are America's Funniest Home Videos is on the reels. I get some every once in a while.
I see. I'm not surprised. There we go.
Yep.
It makes a lot of sense.
It's funny how they make it in, and every once in a while, like they just kind of, they're editing people like don't
get it.
They do weird shit though, and they always have. They hit you with the funniness, and then it goes for like 10 seconds too long.
Oh,
like, that was weird. It was a weird edit point.
Almost like they're like building for the laugh track or something like that.
Yeah. Dude, we do watch AFV every once in a while. I'll put it on because I like watching ridiculousness. I think it's a good show.
Yep.
And AFV
it's just reimagined
like
Funniest Home Videos.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like a little bit more hardcore. So it's like a lot of episodes, not stuff that's a 5-year-old friendly. So I'm watching AFV because I know that stuff is stuff I can get away with. And what is with them giving the money to the shittiest videos? It's never the ones I laugh at the hardest.
I know.
That are the top 3.
I know. It's weird.
And then you get to like, oh, it's the $100,000 episode, and you're like, great. I'm not watching this. They all suck.
Because this whole season's winners have sucked.
Every 3 clips you pick from each episode to win sucks shit, and now you're putting all those together.
Right.
Plus, it's just a compilation of all the 3 clips I've seen in every other episode.
Right.
It's like we're trying to make it seem like a big deal, and it's literally like we have to do less work for this episode.
Yep.
I hate it.
Hate
the idea. Get it out of here.
But stick to the reels.
Yeah, dude. That was a random kind of a tangent on the AFV reels, but the reel. Yeah, did I cut you off? What did we even come in?
No, we were wrapping up. We were wrapping up.
Okay,
we were wrapping up on this. So, do the like subscribe thing, and the thing that you've always driven home, the thing that gets driven home all the time is it's just a click. It's just it's a quick little for you, but helps us climb that algorithm. Thanks to everybody on YouTube who's been following us and sticking with us and sharing and stuff like that and growing the YouTube channel. I see the stats every time I get in there, and it feels
Yeah.
it feels pretty good. What else do you want to say there, Tim? Anything?
No, just like Josh said, like and subscribe and all that stuff. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Like Ryan Sickler says, it means nothing to you guys and it means everything to us. So if
That's
you
right.
could, it's much appreciated. Also, just going back to what we watching, the new Avatar is so damn long, dude.
So what you're saying is you're still trying to watch the new Avatar.
Still trying, yes. Me and my